global warming is known as the increasing of heat in the earth. So our earth becomes really hot, and humans face an important role in increasing earth temperature. But why is this bad for our earth? This is bad because glaciers are melting, sea levels are rising, cloud forests are dying, and wildlife is they fight to stay alive. So it's really bad. The gases that we produce and also the gases of the greenhouse. We produce a lot of CO2, and this gas prevents the lightning from leaving the atmosphere and staying inside as heat. You can see global warming is really bad for us, but there are many ways to stop global warming. For example, you can use electric cars, you can also reduce the use of plastic, you can plant trees, and you can use alternative and renewable energy sources.
The world's growing production of plastic is about 100 million tons annually. It's not just clogging landfill sites and threatening the oceans and marine life. It's accelerating climate change. Plastic is one of the most persistent pollutants on Earth. It's made to last and it does up to 400 years or even more. And at every step in its life cycle, plastic creates greenhouse gas emissions that are contributing to the warming of our world. The only way we can address the problem is to curb the production of plastic, especially of the single-use plastic, and to start recycling. Some options to reduce plastic use is by using reusable bags for shopping and grocery shopping, to use reusable bottles to stop drinking from plastic straws, and to use reusable straws if you want to use a straw, to buy food in carton boxes instead of plastic bags, among others.
My idea to help the planet with the climate change is to plant more trees. Trees are called the lungs of the world because thanks to them all living beings get air that we need to live. Every year, around 13 million hectares of forests are burned or fall worldwide. Just by keeping them alive, these forests will help us with climate change. If we put this solution to plant more trees into the test, it will not only help the climate change, but also it will be more animals and new species in the world. In the other hand, if we don't do this, the planet will suffer a lot of consequences. When trees are cut down for wood or fuel, or when forests are burned for agriculture, their stored CO2 is released into the air, causing the planet to warm up. For this reason, we must avoid deforestation, and a better plan for this, or a solution, is to plant more trees and plants in new places to create forests and more.
Should start taking up more of the renewable energy than the non-renewable energy, since energy will always be the same. The difference is that in one we pollute the environment. The alternative energy, sometimes known as clean energy or green energy, is energy that is collected from renewable resources. This energy is generally produced by sunlight, wind, and waves. On the contrary, non-renewable energy is obtained by burning fossil fuels. There are different ways to transform electric energy thanks to natural resources. The principles are solar energy. This, as the name says, is obtained through the sun. Solar panels absorb solar radiation and transform it into electricity that can be stored or fed into the grid. Wind energy. In this way, electricity is formed by the force of the wind. The windmills are located in wind farms and are connected to electricity generators that transform the energy produced when the wind turns its blades. Hydroelectric energy is another of the best known alternative energies. It uses the force of the water in its course to generate electricity and is usually produced in dams. If humanity starts to occupy it, the environment will be considerably improved and global warming will be reduced.
Today I'm going to talk about cars and the effects that they have on the environment, the global warming, and the solutions that we can take to solve this problem. Pollution, no, traffic pollution is pollution caused by the combustion of fossil fuels, especially gasoline and diesel. Cars, trucks, and buses powered by fossil fuels are one of the main sources of air pollution in the world. They emit more than the half of the nitrogen oxides in our air and are one of the largest emitters of gases associated with global warming in the world. Due to its high degree of industrialization and economic activity of the industries, the transports that take place in the development countries are responsible for 30% to 90% of the total polluting gases emitted by traffic throughout the world. Scientific studies have identified that these pollutants have negative impacts on almost every organ in the body. Although air pollution brings many public health and environmental risks, we now have clean transportation technology that can significantly reduce pollution from cars, trucks, and buses, and cut oil consumptions in half in the next 20 years. Just as electric cars like Tesla are reducing pollution from passenger vehicles, buses and trucks powered by batteries or hydrogen can do the same in the commercial world. In addition to not emitting air pollutants, electric buses and trucks produce very few emissions associated with global warming compared to vehicles that use fossil fuels. An electric bus that uses our current electrical grid is the lowest carbon option anywhere in the world.
This activity I learned to suppress global warming and how it is affecting the land. And also I learned ways to stop it, such as using electric cars, reducing the use of plastic and the production of plastic. Also we can plant more trees, and we can, with all of this stuff, we can reduce the CO2 that is the gas that is the worst for the environment. I think this activity was very entertaining and serves a lot to be able to know the reality in which we are living, because global warming is a real fact and we should take care of our earth.
In this activity, I learned a lot about climate change that I didn't know before. Some of the things I learned is that, for example, I didn't know that plastic creates greenhouse effect gases. I thought that only like smoke from the cars or from the fabrics did these greenhouse gases, but I learned that there are so many things that contribute to global warming that I didn't know, because I thought that plastic was just contaminating but not creating this greenhouse effect that we all know that affects so much the earth.
I really like this activity because we are able to see what really happened in the world with climate change, that things are very bad, and we also can see what are the solutions that we can make to help the environment and the planet, and also that we don't need to make a big change. We can do little things to help the world, but if we all people do this change, the world will have a better environment. So I really like this activity because I understand what is happening, and I know now what can I make to help the world.
Personally, this activity was very interesting. We are talking about a topic that is very important at a global level. That's why this activity made me realize that the planet is being ruined by human guilt. That's why we have to start changing our habits to improve the environment. For example, use renewable energy or use less plastic, and that will help very, very much to the environment.
I really like this activity since I was able to learn a lot more about environmental pollution. For me, this topic is very important because it is a current problem in which there are many scientists who are struggling to solve it. It is important that most of us take measures to combat this problem because with the help of each person, we can reduce global warming and lower the pollution. I would like that in most subjects we could cover topics like this to learn and be creative at the same time. One problem that occurs in the group is communication, since we cannot meet to make the video or the report. That is why we had to find another means of communication to be able to get together, but despite this, I feel that this activity was very educational and creative at the same time.